Have you ever felt that even with all the care, something isn't quite right with your body odor? Especially as the years go by, certain bathroom habits, which seem harmless, might be sabotaging your intimate hygiene and causing unwanted odors. In this video, we'll reveal 8 common habits many mature women have in the bathroom that, according to experts, may be the true culprits behind unpleasant smells. Stay with us until the end, because number 7 surprises a lot of people. Shall we begin? Your intimate health deserves attention and care. If you're new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content. One of the most common habits among women who want to maintain good hygiene is the frequent use of scented products. Soaps with strong fragrances, intimate sprays, scented wet wipes, and even vaginal deodorants have become part of many women's routines, especially with aging, when fear of unpleasant odors increases. However, this seemingly harmless habit may be directly contributing to the very problem it aims to prevent. The female intimate area has a delicate natural balance. The vaginal pH is slightly acidic, which favors the presence of beneficial bacteria that protect the body against infections and inflammation. When scented products come into contact with this area, they can disrupt this environment by killing these protective bacteria and allowing harmful microorganisms to grow. This can result in stronger odors, abnormal discharge, irritation, and even infections such as bacterial vaginosis or candidiasis. Additionally, many of these artificial fragrances contain harsh chemicals like parabens, alcohol, preservatives, and dyes. These substances can cause allergic reactions, burning, itching, and dryness of the vaginal mucosa. Instead of solving the problem, the constant use of these products creates a cycle in which discomfort and odor worsen, leading to even more product use to mask the symptoms. Another common mistake is thinking that the natural smell of the intimate area is dirty or abnormal. Every woman has a characteristic scent that varies depending on factors like diet, menstrual cycle, medications, and age. The problem arises when that smell becomes very strong, unusual, or unpleasant. In such cases, it's best to consult a gynecologist rather than trying to hide the odor with perfumes. Maintaining proper hygiene doesn't mean overdoing it. On the contrary, excessive cleaning or using inappropriate products can be harmful. Warm water and a mild, fragrance-free soap are usually enough for daily hygiene. More importantly, it's essential to understand that the vagina is self-cleaning. It doesn't need douches, deodorants, or perfumes to be clean. True care lies in respecting its natural balance. Changing underwear every day might seem obvious to many, but the truth is not everyone gives this simple habit the importance it deserves. As time goes by, especially among older women, routines may become more relaxed, and the frequency of underwear changes may decrease. This oversight, however small it may seem, can significantly contribute to the emergence of unpleasant odors in the intimate area. Throughout the day, the body naturally sweats, including the genital area. In addition to sweat, there's also contact with vaginal secretions, urine residue, and in some cases slight urine leakage, common in women with mild incontinence, which becomes more frequent with age. When underwear stays in contact with this moisture for long periods, it creates the perfect environment for bacteria and fungi to grow. The result is a strong, persistent, and often embarrassing odor, even if intimate hygiene has been properly done. Besides frequency, the type of fabric also matters. Underwear made from synthetic materials like polyester and nylon hinders skin ventilation and increases heat and moisture retention. Cotton underwear is a better choice as it allows the skin to breathe and helps keep the area dry for longer. Still, any underwear, regardless of fabric, should be changed daily or even more than once a day if there is heavy sweating, increased vaginal discharge, or excessive heat. Many women also make the mistake of sleeping in the same underwear worn during the day. However, underwear accumulates residue throughout the day, and wearing it overnight prolongs the skin's and mucosa's exposure to bacteria and moisture. The ideal is to always put on clean underwear before bed, or even sleep without underwear to allow the intimate area to breathe overnight. For older women who may have reduced mobility or difficulty maintaining hygiene independently, it's even more important to ensure proper underwear changes. Family members and caregivers should pay attention to this detail to prevent infections, irritation, and odors. In short, changing underwear frequently is not just a matter of hygiene, but of intimate health. This small daily habit can make a big difference in comfort, self-esteem, and most importantly, in preventing unwanted odors. A habit many women develop over their lifetime, often without realizing it, is holding in urine for long periods. This can happen for many reasons: lack of time, unclean restrooms, fear of incontinence, embarrassment, or just the habit of holding it a little longer. However, doctors warn that frequently holding in urine is extremely harmful to urinary and intimate health, especially in older women. The urinary system is designed to function regularly. The bladder has a limited capacity, and when full, it sends signals to the brain indicating it's time to empty it. Repeatedly ignoring this signal can lead to several problems. One of the most common is bladder muscle weakening, which can hinder its ability to empty completely. This increases the risk of urinary tract infections as residual urine becomes a breeding ground for bacteria. These infections not only cause pain, burning, and discomfort, but often come with a strong smelling urine. When this smell mixes with vaginal secretions, the result is a more intense and noticeable body odor. Additionally, in older women, the immune system may already be less efficient, which worsens the situation and increases recurrence chances. Another common issue among menopausal or postmenopausal women is reduced estrogen, which thins the walls of the urethra and bladder, making these areas more sensitive to infections. Holding in urine worsens this condition, contributing not only to bad odor, but also to local irritation and even long-term urinary incontinence. It's important to remember that strong-smelling urine can also be intensified by diet, dehydration, and certain medications. But when urine is held for many hours, these effects are magnified. Urinating regularly helps eliminate toxins and bacteria, keeping the urinary tract clean and balanced. Therefore, it's best not to wait until pain or an urgent need arises. It's recommended to urinate every 3 to 4 hours, even if the urge is not intense. For women with reduced mobility, it's crucial to ensure easy access to the bathroom and proper hydration. In short, holding urine might seem like a minor issue, but it's a silently harmful habit. It affects not just bladder and kidney health, but can also be one of the invisible causes behind intimate odors. The use of panty liners and pads is common among many women, especially those who want to feel more secure and protected against secretions, light urine leaks, or during the end of menstruation. However, when these products are used for long periods without proper changes, or when incorporated into the daily routine without real need, they may do the opposite of what is intended, causing discomfort, irritation, and odor. Panty liners and pads act as a barrier between the intimate area and clothing, absorbing moisture and secretions. The problem is that when left in contact with the skin for many hours, they also create a warm, moist environment, especially if made of synthetic materials that don't allow airflow. This accumulation of heat and moisture fosters the growth of bacteria and fungi, the main culprits behind unpleasant odors in the intimate area. Furthermore, many of these products contain artificial fragrances, absorbent gels, and other chemicals that, when in prolonged contact with the sensitive vulvar skin, can cause irritation, itching, redness, and even dermatitis. In older women, whose intimate skin tends to be thinner and more sensitive due to lower estrogen levels, these effects are even more intense and risky. Another common mistake is believing that constant use of liners prevents odor, when in fact it can have the opposite effect. By blocking the skin's natural ventilation, these products cause normal secretions, which usually don't have a strong odor, to accumulate longer, decompose more quickly, and begin to emit an unpleasant smell. Many women report a stronger odor precisely when removing the liner at the end of the day. Gynecologist's recommendation is clear. Panty liners should only be used when truly necessary, and even then only for short periods. If frequent use is needed, it's essential to change them throughout the day, every 3 to 4 hours, to avoid moisture buildup. It's also important to opt for fragrance-free, breathable, and hypoallergenic products. For those without urinary leaks or excess discharge, the best option is simply not to use daily liners, allowing the intimate area to breathe naturally. Sleeping without underwear can also help maintain vaginal flora balance and prevent odors. In summary, prolonged or improper use of liners or pads can turn a hygiene habit into a health risk, encouraging the very odors they are meant to prevent. Many women, especially as they age, adopt regular and careful bathing routines, but end up neglecting one essential detail: properly drying the intimate area after bathing or showering. It may seem like a minor or irrelevant step, but failing to dry properly or at all can lead to a number of problems, including persistent odor in the genital area. After a shower, moist skin in the intimate area becomes an ideal environment for microorganism growth. The body's natural heat combined with retained moisture in skin folds promotes the proliferation of bacteria and fungi like candida, which cause infections with symptoms such as itching, redness, discharge, and often unpleasant odor. Even without visible infection, moisture buildup can intensify the natural scent of the intimate area, making it stronger and more bothersome. Also, older women often have thinner and more sensitive skin, making irritation more likely if the area remains damp for long periods. In many cases, simply getting dressed immediately after bathing without drying properly leads to chafing, dermatitis, and increased local sweating, all of which worsen odor issues. Another important factor is the type of towel used. Damp, poorly washed, or reused towels can be contaminated with bacteria, which, when in contact with wet skin, worsen the situation. That's why it's essential to always use a clean, dry, and soft towel to dry the intimate area. The ideal method is to dry gently, without rubbing, by lightly pressing the towel against the skin. Pay special attention to folds like between the labia and around the groin, as these areas tend to trap moisture. Some women prefer using disposable paper towels or cotton wipes for this step, which is also fine as long as done gently. Keeping the intimate area well dried after bathing not only prevents unpleasant odors, but also promotes daily comfort and helps prevent recurrent infections. This simple habit, when incorporated into a routine, makes a huge difference in intimate health and overall well-being. Frequent use of tight underwear and clothing made of synthetic fabrics is one of the most overlooked, yet very relevant, causes of unpleasant, intimate odors. This habit, common among women of all ages, can cause daily discomfort and even harm vaginal health, especially in older women whose bodies are already undergoing natural hormonal and physiological changes. Tight clothing, such as snug underwear, tight jeans, or synthetic leggings, hinders proper ventilation of the intimate area. This creates a warm, humid, and enclosed environment, ideal conditions for bacteria and fungi to thrive. As a result, the natural scent of the genital area can become stronger and more unpleasant, even in women who maintain good hygiene. Synthetic fabrics like polyester, nylon, microfiber, and other non-breathable materials make the problem worse, as they don't absorb sweat or allow air circulation. This means the moisture generated by body heat and natural vaginal secretions remains trapped against the skin much longer, encouraging bacterial breakdown and the onset of odors. Additionally, constant friction from tight, non-stretchy garments can cause irritation, chafing, and inflammation of the vulva. For older women, the situation is even more delicate. With the onset of menopause, there is a drop in estrogen production, which thins the skin and reduces the vagina's natural lubrication. This makes the area more vulnerable to injuries, infections, and irritations, and the constant use of inappropriate clothing can intensify these effects. Often, unpleasant odor is the first sign that something is wrong. Experts recommend choosing underwear made of cotton, a natural fabric that allows the skin to breathe, absorbs moisture, and reduces the risk of microbial growth. Comfortably fitting panties that don't compress the intimate area, along with looser outer clothing, especially on hot days, help keep the genital area cool and dry. Avoiding tight clothing at bedtime and opting for light pajamas or even sleeping without underwear are practices recommended by many gynecologists. Small changes like these can prevent the development of unpleasant odors and improve long-term intimate health. One of the most dangerous and unfortunately very common mistakes made by many women, especially older ones, is ignoring the signs the body sends when something isn't right in the intimate area. Symptoms such as persistent itching, burning, pain while urinating, constant dampness, or changes in vaginal discharge are often minimized or dismissed as normal for my age. However, these signs can indicate infections, imbalances, or even more serious conditions that should not be ignored. Vaginal discharge, for example, is a natural and healthy phenomenon in the female body, responsible for keeping the area clean and lubricate. However, when that discharge changes in color, odor, consistency, or quantity, it can be a sign of infections such as bacterial vaginosis, candidiasis, trichomoniasis, or even sexually transmitted diseases. One of the most obvious indicators of these changes is foul odor, which may range from strong, acidic, sweet, or even fishy smelling, depending on the cause. Itching is also an important symptom, but one that many women attribute to allergies, heat, or tight clothing. While those causes may be valid, persistent itching, especially when accompanied by redness, swelling, or sores, almost always points to an infection. The big issue is ignoring these symptoms or trying to treat them at home with inappropriate products, which can mask the signs and worsen the condition. Over time, many women experience hormonal changes that directly affect vaginal health. The drop in estrogen levels typical of menopause leads to dryness of the vaginal mucosa, making it more prone to micro-injuries and infections. That's why the body may start showing symptoms that didn't exist before, and these should not be dismissed as just normal because I'm getting older. Ignoring these signs, in addition to contributing to bad odor, may allow a simple infection to develop into more serious conditions affecting the urinary tract, bladder, and even the uterus. Ideally, women should regularly observe their vaginal discharge and stay alert to any persistent changes. If anything seems different from your usual pattern, the best course of action is to see a gynecologist as soon as possible. Listening to your body is an act of care and responsibility. It is not normal to have constant itching, strong odor, or unusual discharge, and it's never too late to seek help and ensure balanced, comfortable, intimate health.